Hi everyone, I'm Stan from Eagle Vision here with Harry from Northwind. Harry, welcome.
Hi Stan, hi everyone.
Yes, so today we're talking about, a fairly serious kind of topic and a really important one for property developers, which is quantity surveying and cost planning. So Harry's from Northwind and we'll hear a lot more about Northwind and their background, but basically we want to talk about the three stages essentially. Acquisition, construction, completion, and when quantity surveying and cost planning sort of comes into it. So Harry, tell us a little bit about Northwind and how it all came about and
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice, Stan, thanks for being here. So I formed Northwind about 20 years ago, believe it or not. Yeah, such a long time. I have about 27 or nearly 28 years in the building industry.
Yep.
So I studied construction and project management, and I figured out that it's important to get the numbers right in construction and in development.
Definitely.
So that's how I started, and with the aim to add value and to help my clients who are in the construction or in the property industry to get the numbers right and to make the right decision, manage the risk right, and to maximize the profit.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yep.
So what kind of developers do you typically work with?
A wide range, from anything from residential, so multi-residential, medium density, to high density, high rise, to commercial, warehouse, as well as a wide range of sector.
Yeah, shopping centres.
Shopping centres, the whole lot.
Yeah, understand. Very good.
That's
right. And so when it comes to the acquisition stage, obviously the developer is thinking about a feasibility study and there's this whole thing about doing a feasibility on the back of a napkin, right? How well does that work?
Not so well. Sometimes it works if they,
if they get the timing right.
Yeah,
right?
if they get the timing and the numbers right.
Yeah.
A lot of the times when the developers comes to us for cost planning or cost planning of the development, things don't stack up because they haven't figured out the right construction costs, the contributions, and there's many other aspects: professional costs, authority cost, and holding costs, and so forth. So when things don't stack up, it's not very good for them because they will not proceed with construction. The financier is not funding them. So they're the common mistakes that I see, because they would go ahead and purchase the land very quickly without any proper study or homework, and they purchase at a higher price.
Sure.
So things don't stack up. So what I like to offer my service to developers is that we get the numbers right and we do some sort of cost planning at the start, even before they purchase the property, and do a preliminary assessment, a feasibility study, and factor in all of the costs so they know exactly what they're in for, and have a look at the realization of the product once it's finished.
Is it easy or difficult to do it, sort of, because I suppose they don't even sometimes have a concept yet?
Sure.
They might have an idea of yield, they might have talked to an architect or the like.
That's right.
And if we're just talking about straightforward sort of residential, how easy is it to estimate cost planning on the conceptual sort of basis?
We can go in and we can make estimate at any stage of the way,
Right.
And you are right. Normally, if the property comes with a DA,
Sure.
so there's some.
It's a little bit easier then.
Yeah. It's easy, and we'll do a quick estimate of the cost, factor in a lot of things, and do a simple feasibility study, and so we know that the right price of the land, if they're going to bid for it, if they're going to negotiate an offer for it. If there's nothing there, then what we could do is we could explore, and it might take a little bit longer, but we might look at talk to the architect, we might look at talk to the town planner,
Of course.
and we can look at what's in demand in that area and what could possibly work. And we can look at 2 options, 3 options, whether it works for multi townhouse units or student accommodation. Or
apartments, or
and or childcare center,
Okay,
which is in great demand at the moment.
Yeah, that's interesting actually. So with childcare, how different do the numbers sort of stack up? Don't you need to bring an operator in, and then it gets sort of more complicated?
Yeah, sure.
How does the licenses sort of work out?
Yeah, so at the start when we do feasibility studies, then obviously we just make estimates of how much, what the numbers would be like. It would be too early to go and negotiate and look for an operator. But just from an assessment of, is it in demand in that area, how much is it's going to cost, and what the numbers would look like.
Because really you're building a single building as opposed to multiple buildings with townhouses or maybe up and many stories with apartments. So
correct,
that makes sort of interesting sense. And then going back to the cost planning at that acquisition stage, right?
Sure.
The developer may or may not be bidding on the land, but they're interested in exploring different options. So really that's where cost planning sort of fits in.
That's right. We can explore different options. We can work with architects or town planner to explore different options. Whatever gives us the, obviously the, depending on the strategy of the developer, whether it's high yield, rental yield, or long term, or capital growth and things like that, we can look at that as well. And then it sort of proceeds on to, so say for example, if the developer go ahead, purchase the block of land for that right price, it might be reverse engineer or reverse feasibility study, work it out for them to bid for the property. They purchase that, they go ahead the next stage of designing, so they work with the architect and town planner now. Then we can provide a series of cost planning. Depending on the project, a small project we suggest at least 2 cost planning. One at town planning stage, just to establish the budget and know what we're up for.
Right.
And then the other one is at tender stage.
Yeah, great. Look, and we'll talk more about that in the part when we're talking about construction.
Okay.
But I'm just sort of curious on the early stages. So, and there is obviously an opportunity for them while working with you, for you to essentially be a development manager, running across the entire gamut to completion.
And we do that too. We do project management and development management.
Yeah, great. So in terms of cost of doing it at pre-planning versus obviously just the basics of doing it when the construction's already started, what's it like so the developers can kind of estimate for it in a feasibility study? Is there like a ballpark?
Every project is different, Stan.
Okay.
So I can't really tell you, and depending on what their needs as well. So at various stages. And that's before. So now we're talking about acquisitions, right?
That's right.
So so very good to do like a simple feasibility studies. At that.
But I suppose the main point is that if they don't get the numbers right, the problem can be much greater. On.
Absolutely. And that's what we see. We see a lot of developers purchase the property, pay for a price, and then go through and spend 12 months and a few $100,000, go and design something that's really, really nice, but it doesn't stack up. I was chatting to a friend this morning actually who's acquiring sites. And over the last few years, that's what he's sort of finding, that there's a lot of permitted sites right now on the market because developers buying things didn't do their numbers right. That's right. And there's a lot of projects out like that, and they don't proceed. They couldn't proceed because they don't get the funding. Even if they got the funding, it's going to be a loss if they do that. So there's another aspect when we talk about cost planning,
Right.
and can I talk that here?
Yeah, of
is
course.
the value management or value engineering.
Right.
And
okay.
that's where we sort of comes in,
Mm.
because the design may be great, an
Yep.
architect may be good,
Yep.
but there's always things that we can look at to reduce the cost.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
perhaps.
Different construction
Yeah,
methods.
that's right.
Yep.
Different construction methods, different materials,
Yep.
perhaps rearrange where the bathroom can be together, for example. You know, there's a lot of things like that
Great
we
cost-cutting
could.
opportunities.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So when we do a cost plan, we look at we take off. We basically like we're building it. You know, on our mind, and the way that we do it, we take off from the excavations, the foundations, the concrete, you know, the steel, and so forth. So when we go through all of that,
Yep.
we quantify everything and we price everything. So
Yeah.
it's like when you go through the cost report, you know all the cost is there.
Yeah, very good. Look, that's all that we sort of wanted to cover on cost planning and that acquisition early stages. Thanks again. Next time we'll be talking about construction and where quantity surveying comes into that. See you soon.
Thank you for watching.